Marco, great to speak with you today. First things first, how are you doing?
Oh, good, thank you.
Can you start off with your team news for tomorrow's game against Aston Villa?
Yeah, simple. Raul is going to be out. The next few weeks, I have to say, probably. Let's see, end of March, if not later. All the other players are going to be available for the match.
You've obviously got two players coming back from the Africa Cup of Nations. I wanted to just ask you about Alex Hojbjerg because he did well, obviously, with his team getting to the final. But in the aftermath of the final, he suffered quite a lot of online abuse from fans who were angry at the result. He's deleted his Instagram posts since then. I mean, have you had a chat with him about how he's mentally?
He's very good. Mentally, he's very good. Alex is he's a happy boy, if I can say. When he's on the pitch, when he's doing what he loves, he's always doing it with a smile in his face. Of course, I don't know. Of course, I know part. I don't know everything what the people said about it. Of course, I don't see reasons because if you lose a game, you lose a game together. If you win a game, you win together. Of course, they did it until the final. They lost the final, and of course, the people react in the way they think that is the best. In my opinion, okay, it was completely unfair because if you look for the final, it's always unfair when you criticize someone in the social media the way they did it. But when it's not no reasons there behind to do it, even more strange, if I can say. Okay, for us it's not important. We cannot control that. It's the new world that you are living. All of us you are living. But about him, since he arrived here, of course I had a chat with him and. He's in a happy place, really. He's back home, feel the support from everybody. He's going to be involved in the game tomorrow, him and Calvin Bassey.
You talk about this new world we're living in where social media is so prevalent and everyone uses it. I mean, as a coach, how difficult does that make your job knowing that your players can have a game, can lose a game, can play badly or play well and they will go home and they can read these sorts of messages?
Yes, I have to tell you that is not the end of the world. To be honest, if you don't pay a lot of attention for them, okay, I can talk about myself as a manager. For me, I don't care really, because it's not something that I pay attention for it, and it's easier to live in this way. Okay, it's not something that you use, and it's not something that you pay attention for it. Of course, I know everything what's happening around. I have people with me that can do it, but it's not something that is going to be a big influence on myself in a daily basis. I would like to see the same happen with the players. I know that is not like that because social media is part of their daily basis as well, but it's up to them to use and to pay the attention that really deserves and is important for them. It's something that cannot control. They cannot control that situation. They have to put all the focus on the things that they can control, and what they can control is what they do in their job, the passion that they put every time in their job, and it's much better when you win football matches. It's much better when you perform well. But in football, it's so competitive. This job, this business, this sport, that you have to be aware that can happen the opposite, and you have to face it in the best way you can and try to improve always in the next day.
Rodrigo's been in fine form, of course, 3 goals in his last 2 games. I mean, how hard does it make it for you to drop him now that he's been scoring so many goals recently?
Okay, for me, it's simple. When you are performing, when you are showing during the week that you are in a very good level, is what we have to do when decision after comes from the manager. Of course, sometimes you can take decisions regarding not just the last few games, but regarding your strategy to the game. Even sometimes a player that can do fantastic and play so well, even if it's difficult for them to understand, they can be dropped. I'm not saying that is going to be the case or not. But of course, if you are performing well, if you are scoring goals, of course, the manager is here to keep the faith and to keep supporting the players. And sometimes that is what happens. In some situation, you can change regarding the plan for the match too. But of course, I'm really pleased for him. I said before the Burnley game that when you have the chance, you have to step in, to pop up, and to show your quality and to take that chance. And the best way you can, and Rodrigo did. Okay, it was 55-60 minutes the first game. After that, a little bit more tired, but scored an important goal and helped the team. Last week probably was his best performance with the Fulham shirt. Okay, he's in a good moment. He's in that thing that is important for a striker, feeling that is important for the team too. Of course, with some players behind him and more Armando that came for our club to reach our club and our performance for a different level. We really believe that he's capable to do it, and now it's a great competition between them, and of course it's up to me to decide.
Rodrigo is still just 22. I mean, how much work have you done with him specifically in getting him to this point, and how much more do you feel he can improve as a player?
No, he has the profile, and he has the potential, and some really important skills for a striker, I have to say. He arrived in our football club at 20 years old, was really young. Not saying one simple word in English. It was a process for him to learn the language. I have to say that the first season was a good one, was a positive one when you have a goal scorer in this football club that scored 44 or 46 goals in that season. Of course, the second striker is more difficult for him to play the enough number of games. Even so, every time he was there, he helped the team to got the title and to be promoted, and he scored some important goals in that season at 20 years old. Unfortunately for us, last season wasn't the best for him when we got a decision for him to go on loan. He went on loan, was not the best in football point of view, but sometimes even if you don't grow inside the pitch, you can grow in a different way. And I think Rodrigo grew in a different way, with some difficulties ahead of him, some one season not playing all of us we expected that he's going to play and score goals to become to come back stronger as a football player. But some difficulties sometimes make you to grow and to make you to look for the reality in a different way. And I think in that aspect was important for him, even if football point of view was not the best. This season he's been playing some games, not the others. And now I'm pleased for him because he's a boy that is working hard to get the chance. And when a striker scores goals, it's always important for them to grow quicker.
You mentioned the competition between him and Armando. I mean, I just wonder, how has Armando trained this week?
He's training really well. He's training and he's working hard. He knows that he needs to adapt as quick as he can for us. Okay, top quality player, but always our difference between one team and the other, different ideas. So you have to adjust for what the manager expects. You have to start to create connections with your teammates as well, and of course. But he's working really hard. He's showing his quality in every moment of the sessions as well, and it's up to me now to decide what is going to be the best solution for each game. But of course, we are really pleased to have him here, and what we talked 2-3 weeks ago when we gave our maximum to get him in our football club. Nothing changed right now just because Rodrigo scored 3 goals in 2 games.
It's Aston Villa up next at home tomorrow. They are dealing with a lot of injuries. They've lost their last 2 games in all competitions. So what kind of challenge are you expecting tomorrow?
Top challenge, difficult one. Unai is doing a fantastic job there. They are there fighting for the Champions League places, still playing European competitions. It's being so difficult for any team to play against them at their home, away from home as well. The way they react in some moments when they have bad results, straight away they can react. Good example after a bad result when they went to Sheffield United, the way they won, clear that game, and that showed their quality. Really, really well managed from Unai as well. With top players in their squad, even with the injuries that they have. If you can replace Pau Torres with Lenglet or Lenglet with Pau Torres, not big difference. And they have all these quality players, or Bailey or Diaby, and all these players that they have in certain areas of the pitch. Of course, show the quality that they have in their squad, adapt their squad, and it's going to be a really tough game for us.
And finally, for me, I mean, in terms of Fulham's form, you're unbeaten in your last 3 games. That's your longest unbeaten run this season. So the fact that you've got so many players coming back now, how much is that something that you really want to keep going?
It's really positive, the mood during this week, because we have had last 2 months, December busy period and January busy period, with a lot of injuries, a lot of players not available, with 3 players in the African Cup in really 2 important months for us. December month was a positive one, last January as well, but we had not just Premier League, 2 different competitions. Of course, with our squad completed, we are stronger, no doubts about it. And I mentioned to the players as well, looks much more a senior squad than before, because our young lads, they have been helping us a lot, and they have been involved in some games as well. They have been doing really well there, and because that they got the chance to be with us. But if you have 3-4 players from the young. The under 21s on the bench, and during the week we have 4 or 5 with, as always, of course, in terms of competitiveness is not the same. And of course, when we start to have all the squad available apart from Raul Jimenez, of course, it's much better for us, much more positive, much more competition between them. Normal the weeks they are better in terms of preparation as well, and I really believe that is a good moment for us.
Thanks, Marco.
Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie.
Hi.
Hi, Marco. So Robinson is the player who has covered most distance so far in the Premier League. Has he always had a really strong work ethic, and is he the fastest in the team as well?
Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson.
Not surprised for me, of course. They are the stats and they're there, they are facts, but not surprised. Of course, you are talking about an athlete, really a top athlete, that he can, most of the times is available for the match, and he can do it in a really top intensity, high intensity, improving. I have to say that the last few seasons for Robinson, they have been really, really good, because I can remember Robinson when he was my player, for example, young lad in Everton. I can remember him even with my first season at Fulham as well, how he's been improving. Of course, still the same athlete, the same player in terms of fitness point of view, but in all the other aspects, he's really improving as a football player, and because that, he's performing better. And of course, he's being really important for us. Our left-hand side is being in a top level. Of course, that left-hand side, plus the midfielder playing that side as well, the triangle there is doing really well. And of course, when you have quality players around you, of course, help you to perform in a better way. I think is everything what has been being the life of Robinson the last season half, but last months as well, because he's performing well. You are taking the best from him in physical point of view, but at the same time, the players around him they are helping him really to perform at very good level.
Also, how's Josh been progressing in training? Because I saw he's been in training quite a few times.
Now he's being with us, of course. He's a player that we really have all the faith that he's going to become an important player for us. Of course, we have to be calm. We have to be to let him to give the right steps. He's still really, really young. But he's a player that, apart from the games with the under 21, every time he's with us, he's showing his quality. Everyone is really impressed with him, and we really believe that he's going to become an important player for this football club. Probably sooner than what we expected. Probably, let's see. We don't want to break some steps that he's going to be important always in a young lad. But he's with us. He's growing as a young lad, and giving the right time for him to keep growing, playing some games, important games under 21 at 17 years old is always really important for him. At the same time, to have time with us during the week to keep understanding better what to expect from him.
Also, are you pleased that this season Craven Cottage has become a bit of a fortress?
Yes, 100% sure. I think we did last season too. Everyone that came to play at Craven Cottage, and they know what they are going to face. This season is being even more, I believe, because our away form, unfortunately for us, is not being the best. And the Craven Cottage is playing a big part in our season so far. And we really believe and we hope that can be the second round again, because we feel well. It's tough for the opposition sides to play. The fans, they play a big part on it as well, and we all together we are going to try to keep the same form at home.
Obviously, Fulham have gone ahead 8 times at home and won every game. Do the players get affected if Fulham score first or even concede?
Of course, it's always better when you score first. Always better, and the facts are there for us. Of course, this season, one of the months that we are losing at home, and we won that game, was against Arsenal. Is a good example that we are capable to do this even if you don't start the way you want, leading the score. But of course, if you ask me, it's something that we have to improve when you are not leading the score of something up in the game that we, for some things, creates for the opposition side, or even from our fault, we started a bit in the back foot. We have to have to show the capacity to change the things for us and to turn the result for us. We did already, not so often like I would like to see, but we did already, just prove that we can do it.
And as in going off the away thing, reports of obviously social media bullying of players, like in general, does the club have any safeguards to help with the players?
Yes, of course we do our work with the players. Of course we are aware of everything, and we are here to support and to try to protect them as more as we can in all the aspects of their life. Yes.